What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. This is now going to be our fourth consecutive Corvette Weekly live video chat session. So I hope you guys are liking the content. I hope you're liking the live videos because I know I am. I love enjoying a little bit of time with some Corvette guys. Hopefully you guys feel the same way. It looks like you do because you guys keep tuning in. So I appreciate all the support as usual, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, looking at the comments real quick, guys, we do have some interesting information from the Corvette Bash this weekend. Shane is actually going to help us out with some of the info here. We have a lot to discuss. There's been a lot that has been talked about, but nothing that has been seriously advertised or thrown out on the internet. So a lot of this stuff, it has, in my opinion, big meaning, but it isn't something that's blowing up on the internet yet. So we're going to talk about it here in a couple minutes. What's up, Becca? Yeah, I'm coming home soon. Doug also was at the bash. That's awesome. So, Doug, you might be able to confirm some of the information that we're going to get here in a second from Shane. There's actually been a lot of information that has come from the Corvette bash. And, guys, I don't know if you know, I was supposed to go to it this year, and it ended up coming down to the last second decision on being there or at my new business here in Miami. So I had to be here, unfortunately. Hopefully I can make it next year. But anyway, guys, let's turn to some of the comments here real quick. A lot of people are asking what I'm thinking the price of the E-Ray is going to be. If I had to guess, the E-Ray is going to be somewhere around $7,000 to $9,000 less than the Z06. And in my experience and based on some of the leaks that I've heard, the Z06 is likely to start right around $90,000 before options. So it's going to put the E-Ray at about $82,000 to $83,000. Again, not confirmed, but I think that's the way it's going to work. Okay, so Tech Education says, I put down a payment on a C8 Z06, but my dealer won't disclose where I'm at on the list. Is that an issue? That is kind of an issue. They should be able to tell you that. If they're not disclosing that, it's because ultimately what they're saying is if some other guy comes along with more money than you, they're going to bump him to the top of the list and bump you down. That's what that sounds like to me. Steven Rapp says, can I really order a Z06 for MSRP, or is that a dream? You can order a Z06 for MSRP. There are a couple dealerships out there that will allow you to do that, but the problem is you're late to the game. So if you haven't already gotten in good with a dealership, odds are good it's going to be tough to do so. So yeah, if you want to order one, you can always talk to my dealership, Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. You could definitely order it through them. It's just going to be a while before you get it at this point. All right, so guys, what we're going to start out with, I think we're going to jump right into the information today. If you guys are liking the content, you're liking the Corvette Weekly, please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking it so we can keep doing this stuff. Every week, I like to see over in the comment section the same names popping up, and so far you guys keep tuning in. I love chatting about Corvettes. I hope you guys like the same thing. The only way for me to really know if you are liking the content is to hit that thumbs up button, so please do that. If you come in and just stay for a second and you like it, smash the thumbs up button. Like I said, there's no cost to you. Jerry says, so when you say late to the game, does that mean the C8Z is sold out before production begins? No. So it's not sold out, but what it is, the initial allocations for the C8 Z06 are very likely to be pretty low. And there are a lot of people on lists already waiting for these cars, willing to pay way over MSRP to get one early. If you're not willing to do that, right off the bat, like it or not, it moves you down the list. Unless you have a good relationship with your dealership, you're probably not going to get one unless you've been on a list for years at this point. Amber says she loves Corvette Weekly. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. All right, so Kevin says, hey, Justin, I love Corvette Weekly. Thank you, Kevin. I just got back from tracking my C8 at Road America this past weekend. Sweet. How'd you do? I'm assuming it was a blast because I've been on a track a handful of times, and it's always a fun time. It's especially fun when you can do it in someone else's car. All right, guys, I'm going to flip around here. We're going to jump into some of the Corvette information today because, like I said, there's a lot. We're going to come back and we're going to talk to Shane here. He's one of the subscribers in the comment section here, and he's going to have a bunch of information for us from the National Corvette Museum. Before we do, though, General Lee says, "What's up, Justin? How are you, brother? I so look forward to seeing your live vlogs." I appreciate that. Hurry up and wait game is driving me nuts. Absolutely, man. I'm right there with you. It does seem like it is a hurry up and wait thing. And now with the latest information about the E-Ray, I'm like, what's going on? Like, something's up. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Sportify says, "Justin the man, glad to be here." Thanks for tuning in, Sportify. Jerry says, "I'm happy to wait for the C8Z so we can learn from the shortcomings." Yep. Let's talk about the newest ZR1 info. We're going to get into that in a second, Mike. My favorite time every Monday. Let's go. All right, Frank Smoke. He sets it off. We're going to flip around here. We're going to talk about some of the information. We're going to start small. We're going to gradually work up to the ZR1, guys. So let me flip it around here. So right off the bat, we can see the Corvette assembly plant reopens after last week's shutdown. So guys, this is a huge deal. Obviously, we need that plant up and running in order to make any kind of progress in this whole C8 Corvette game. Now, whether it's the base C8, the Z06, now the E-Ray, or possibly the ZR1 or Zora, we need the freaking plant to be open. And as we can see here, the plant has reopened. So it was closed for an entire week, and it's because of parts issues. So GM's having trouble getting parts for the cars, and while they can't build the cars, there's no point in having the plant open and paying the workers to stand there and do nothing. So the plant's open. That's fantastic news. Like I said, it means across the board these cars are going to start coming sooner. Now, what is really interesting to me, if we read through this article again, coming to us from our friends over at the CorvetteBlogger.com, we can see in here that they are right around 23,000 Corvettes for the 2022 model year. Now, again, guys, this is low. This is much lower than what they are supposed to be able to build. Now, this isn't necessarily a problem with GM. It is a problem with the production of parts. So parts in general are hard to get. That 23,000 Corvettes that they've made so far for the 2022 model year should be a lot closer to 40,000. So keep that in mind whenever you're talking about the C8 Corvette being hard to get or the C8 Corvette Z06 being hard to get. This is why. The parts are so hard to get to put the cars together that GM's got a bottleneck. They're making 23,000 cars when they should be closer to 40. And if they make 23 instead of 40, that means they're also going to be making less Corvette Z06s, at least in the beginning. Now, eventually this will get back to normal, but until it does, this is a big deal. This is a big problem. This is going to be the issue when it comes to you getting your Corvette, whether it's the C8 or the Z06. So there's a lot of stuff to read about here, guys. Again, you're going to want to check it out over at the Corvette Blogger, but the big thing, like I said, 23,000 Corvettes. It should be way higher than that. It's unfortunate. It's the time we live in. But the sooner that gets fixed, the better for all of us. Let's go ahead and check out the comments here real quick, guys. See what's going on. All right, so Blue Vet 22, thanks for tuning in. Always happy to see you. You're an awesome dude. I got to meet you in person. He actually had some work done down here at Blackout Tinting Miami. That should tell you all you need to know. He says, "Good day to you, Justin, and to all in our Corvette community." Okay, fantastic, guys. So I've said before, we're building a Corvette community here. I love it. I love the fact that we're doing this. I love that I see the same names in here all the time, guys, because it really is something that is, it's more of a family or a community than it is just a YouTube channel. I mean, we're all getting to know each other. I look at a lot of the usernames over here, and I actually know your real names in real life. So, I mean, it's fantastic. We're really building something, and that's amazing. BJT says the guess or magic number is 20% will be Z06. Right now they have been hitting 26,000 base. Let's say 5,200 Z06s and 20,800 base as long as they hit 26,000. Yeah, so that's a pretty safe assumption, but at the same time, 5,200 Z06s is a far cry from the 15,000 that they're telling us we're going to get. So that again is where we're running into problems. We're running into a lot of supply issues, and it's going to hurt everybody at the end. So the reason, when you guys ask me, hey, can I get a Z06 at MSRP? Yes, you absolutely can. I know you can get one from Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. The problem is you're not going to get it for a couple years. With the way that the supply chain's going right now, it's going to be hard to get these cars. Shane says, hello, Hypersonic Gray Amber. Yep. All right, guys, so the first super chat of the day comes to us from General Lee. Now, you guys you may or may not know him. I do know him in person. We've met a couple times at Corvettes at Carlisle, of course, and I'm anxious to meet him and hang out with him again this year coming up because he's a cool dude, and he is definitely going to have a C8 Z06, so look forward to that. Thanks for the donation, General Lee. I appreciate it. USMC says, when the E-Ray comes out, will they increase the overall production numbers of this C8? So that's kind of what we're talking about here. I don't believe so. It's not so much that it's something that Chevy doesn't want to increase or can't necessarily themselves. It's a supply chain issue. So until the world kind of gets back to its normal self, it's going to be really hard to say yes or no to that kind of question. What it really comes down to is the supply chain. We need to get the parts. We can't have this plant shutting down all the time. If it stays up and running and they actually are able to produce more than the 23,000 Corvettes that they're producing now, once they get closer to the actual 40,000 that they're tooled for, then and everything's working out, there's no markups anymore because everybody's got one. So best case scenario, that's how it works. Jerry says E-Ray is a distraction for the lack of C8 Corvette Z06 news. I don't disagree. I do think that there's something to be said about that, and that's unfortunate. I'm a little iffy on that myself. Kevin says, unfortunately, it was cold and rain for most of Road America weekend, so I was only able to squeeze a few sessions in between the rain here and there. That's unfortunate. I bet that would have been a good time. BJT says they always wanted it to hit 40K. If 20% is the magic number, then 8,000 Z06 and 32,000 base. GM originally said that there was going to be, it wasn't necessarily going to be 20%. They were aiming for around 15,000 Z06s. But if they do that, then yeah, it's pulling from the base model production. All right, so we got Michael Matarazzo on here as well, guys. He says he has 2 of the last 22 customer cars today. Guess what colors? Hypersonic Gray, and it's stunning. So, guys, if you don't know, Michael Matarazzo is the salesman at Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, and he actually just delivered the last 2022 customer cars today, and they were both Hypersonic Gray. He apparently is a fan of that color. Charles Jacobs says, Kevin, get all this all-season tires. Yep, I agree. LT4 Powered, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. And, guys, number 2 for the Super Chat today is Ralph Cruz. Ralph is another huge supporter of the channel. I appreciate it so much, Ralph. He says, when do you get your Z06? How much will you modify it? And when will the allocations come out? I will get my Z06 hopefully pretty early on once the allocations are available. Unfortunately, there's nothing really talking about the allocations yet. Chevy has been very tight-lipped about when we can really expect to see the allocations or really anything about this car. If I had to guess, I think the allocations will come right around July, possibly early August. At that point, we'll be able to actually place the order for the car, and then you're talking about around a month to a month and a half before they start showing up in people's driveways. Flying Cop Car says, I really hope GM surprises everyone and makes a bunch of awesome exotic colors. Flying Cop Car, we actually have something to talk about. Stay tuned. LT4 Powered just saw a blackout commercial on another YouTube channel. That's awesome. Charles says, oh no, not the track. Sorry, my brother. Michael Matarazzo says, to Amber, 2 Hypersonics at the dealership came in today, and it's stunning in the sun. Yep, we had one down here at the shop, and it was pretty nice. Grandpa Barney with number 3 Super Chat of the day, guys. Like I said, this really helps support the channel. All the money goes right back into the channel, and it's going to, of course, end up allowing me to create better content for you guys. Grandpa Barney with the 3rd Super Chat of the night. He says he came in late, working overtime for the upgrades. LOL, what's up with the ZR1? Thought that was a no-go. Real name is David Barney. Nice. My favorite YouTuber, bro. All right, David. We're going to talk about the ZR1 in 1 second. It is still up in the air as to whether or not it's real. I'll let you guys make that decision once we talk about the info. Are they still building 2022s? I think the 2023 starts on the 16th. Yeah, I think that's correct, BJT. Michael Matarazzo says Justin is getting first early year car in yellow. Part of that's true. We're going to try to get one of the very first ones on the channel here, guys. Yeah. Okay. So Stephen Rapp, we're actually going to talk about colors here in a second. We have some information, some inside information on that. Shane says Red Mist has quickly become one of my favorite colors after seeing and spending some time with it at the bash. Yeah, Red Mist really is an awesome color. I thought the same thing. Is I spent some time with it at the Pittsburgh International Auto Show, and in person, it really is something else. But let's go ahead and flip back over to the browser here, guys. We're going to go to the next piece of information. So we talked about the Corvette assembly plant already. It is reopened after last week's shutdown, which is great news. So moving right along, guys, we are going to talk about the fact that the convertible Corvette models now account for almost 50% of all 2022 Corvette orders. This is amazing to me because almost everybody I talk to, almost every single person that I know, prefers a coupe over a convertible. And apparently that is not actually a good snippet of the general population. So the general population, or the general Corvette buyer, is apparently very divided, almost 50-50. So about 52% say coupe, 48% say convertible, because 48% of your 2022 model years are in fact convertible. So I'm going to put a real quick poll up here, guys. I want to know, are you interested in the convertible or coupe? Doesn't matter if it's base, C8, Z06, E-Ray, whatever it is. Let me know what your thoughts are because I am definitely interested. So here we go, guys. Go ahead and vote on that. I'm curious as to which one you would prefer. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a Z06, E-Ray, or base C8. If you would like the convertible or the coupe better, let me know. Frank, I'm kind of in the same position. I don't know. I really find it hard to believe that the ZR1 is going to exist until GM comes out and says something more official about it. I'm gonna pass along the news, but I'm not 100% sure I believe any of it yet, and we'll talk about why. So, guys, this is an interesting fact here about the 48% being convertible, but there's a lot of information to read here. They actually go through a lot of different things and break down a lot of different buying points to the car. So, again, head over to thecorvetteblogger.com. You can read a little bit more about this if you guys are interested. Now, we're going to move on to the awesome piece of information tonight, and it's going to be the C8 Corvette Z06 and the fact that it has an adjustable launch control. So this was a video that they actually played at the Corvette Bash, or the National Corvette Museum, the Michelin Bash. And it was interesting because you can actually go through and you can set what RPM you want to launch this car at. So again, guys, this is coming to us from our friends over at thecorvetteblogger.com. You can see here, not only can you adjust the RPM, but you can also adjust the amount of slip that it has. So this would obviously be your differential output. And you can customize this to the point where it is going to allow you to launch that car perfectly. Now, if you guys remember, whenever I had my C8 Corvette, I took it down to the drag strip and I was using launch control, and that managed to actually break an axle. Because if the road is prepped in a way that's super sticky and your tires are warm, it's not going to spin at all. And that's where you need a little bit of this slip to come in. So that will allow, even though the tires aren't physically slipping, it will allow some slip happening at the differential end. This is an awesome little bit of information here, guys, because this means GM has seriously taken this car and just dialed it into the actual track or drag strip enthusiast. So we have all kinds of information about this car and its launch control abilities, which are far greater than what the base C8 gave us. The base C8, you either launched it, I think it was 3,500 RPM, or If you were in tour mode, it would go to 1500. That was it. You had no other control. You couldn't decide what RPM. The fact that you can launch this freaking car at 5500 RPM is just nuts to me. But it also gives you, like I said, that ability to slip the differential a little bit. This is pretty interesting stuff, guys. So it looks like down below, if we read through it a little bit, that the 4500 RPM is actually the Z06's default RPM for launch control. That's still pretty high, but we got to remember this is a flat plane crank engine, so you need that RPM to be up a little bit more to get some more torque out of it. But I'm curious, what do you guys think about this? Having a customizable launch control like that really tells me that GM is trying to really hammer this car home with your typical drag strip or track driver. What are your thoughts? I'm assuming the majority of you guys out there are probably buying this car and not going to track it. Probably not even going to take it to the drag strip. Let me know if you guys are out there that are going to buy this and you're actually going to use it on the track. Raise your hand if that happens to be you. And while you're at it, guys, if you could go ahead and please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so I can keep doing these things for you guys. It's the only way I know if you like it. It's the only way I know if I should keep doing it. So that thumbs up button on YouTube lets me know you guys are liking the content. It lets YouTube know, and it helps circulate this out to as many other Corvette guys as possible. So hit that thumbs up if you could, please, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so Kevin says that the launch control will be adjustable from 35 up to 5,000 RPM. So it looks like it's actually going to be up to 5,500. That's what they were showing in the picture there. Elijah said he is going to track his Z06 and Thunder Hill. That's awesome. I'm going to track mine. Awesome. 5 to 10 track days a year. Shane's going to track. Doug Smiley's going to road course. V8 Junkie is trading in his ZL1 1LE for the C8Z. Definitely taking it to the track. Awesome, guys. I'm impressed. I didn't think there would be this many people doing it. So I am going to do that, BJ. We're going to take down the coupe conversation here. Let's see where we're at. So 70%. See, this is what I mean. The numbers are so skewed here. 70% of the people in this chat say they want a coupe. 30% say convertible. So the numbers are a little skewed off of what GM's doing. But we're going to end this poll, and I'm going to create a new one. I want to know who is tracking this car and who is not. So let me create a new one here. It's going to be, are you going to track your C8 Z06? Yes, no. Let's see what we got here, guys. I'm very, very, very curious. So we were 70-30 on the coupe convertible question. Let's see where we get with the tracking of the C8 Corvette Z06. Like I said, I think it's interesting that GM's giving us all of this adjustability with this car because it's really going to be built to be a track monster. And with that said, you don't have to track it. But at the same time, you're letting a lot of these tools go to waste if you're not. So, all right, so Shane's 100% in on the hardtop convertible. That's what I said, Brian. 98% of the C8 owners will never track it. I agree. Okay, so guys, this is a pretty cool piece of information. If you're just now tuning in, the 2023 Corvette Z06 allows drivers to customize their launch control all the way up to what looks like 5,500 RPM. And you can also customize the amount of slip that the differential will allow you to have. So very cool stuff, guys. This car is literally built for the track. It's built for the drag strip, and these are the numbers that prove it. So if you're interested in getting a car that is obviously very track focused, the Z06 may just be for you. So guys, we're going to move along to the next little bit of information. And this, of course, again, comes to us from the guys at the National Corvette Museum. So this was a picture taken as they were talking about some of the information on the Z06. And again, some of you guys may know this, but I thought this was interesting to see in actual document form, I guess. So the Corvette Stingray Z51. So the Z51 spoiler setup, it gives you 252 pounds of downforce at 186 miles per hour. The Corvette Z06 is 362, and then of course the Corvette Z06 with the Z07 package or the carbon fiber aero package is 734. So if you compare the top and the bottom number there is a lot of difference in how much downforce this car is going to create, which again, it just tells you that this car is going to be 100% set up for the track, because those are the numbers you're gonna have. You're gonna have a 734 pounds of downforce at 186 miles an hour, which means no one's gonna be hitting 186 miles an hour on the street. This is definitely only something you're gonna feel on the track, just like with my C8 Corvette ZR1. That giant wing in the back creates a lot of downforce, but it's never gonna hit. You're never gonna feel that on the street. That's something you're gonna feel on the track at very high miles per hour. But this is pretty cool here, guys. I really like this kind of stuff being in print and directly from GM. So you can see the Chevrolet logo up there at the top right. It was actually the Chevy guys, the Chevy engineers sitting there talking about this stuff. This is the information that is invaluable because it is 100% fact. It's official. This is not speculation. These are in stone numbers. Now, the one thing that I was kind of upset to see or not see at the Corvette Museum Bash is a lot of the information we were wanting to see. So a lot of this stuff, this is really awesome to see this stuff, but at the same time, we didn't get any Nürburgring numbers. We didn't get any pricing. We didn't really get any speculation of that stuff. Like, it's still very ambiguous. They're giving us information. It's just not the stuff we want. So yeah, this is still pretty cool. I love that we have this stuff, but at the same time, I'm ready for a little bit more. I'm sure you guys are too. I hear it a lot. What's the price going to be? What's the Nürburgring time? I don't know why we don't have that yet. I honestly, a couple months ago, I would have put money on the fact that we were going to get that any day now, and somehow we're still here without it. So it's interesting, but let's see what we got in the comments section here, guys. Yeah, Frank Smoke says, hit the like button or you will be banned from this channel. I won't ban you, but I would very much so like it if you would hit that thumbs up, guys. It really helps out the channel. Where are we at with thumbs up? So let's see what we got. 47, that is not very good, guys. If we could, let's try to get to 100 tonight, guys, so we can start talking about the ZR1 news. The ZR1 news is coming next. We're going to talk about it, though, as soon as we hit 100 likes. So, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. I would really, really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. You know the speech. It helps out the channel, and it's free. Let's see what we got here, guys. 99. Oh, man, my count was way off. I guess my phone hadn't updated. So, all right, so we're at 100. I'm going to go ahead and move on with the ZR1 information like I promised. You guys are too good. You're too good. I thought for sure we weren't even close to 100. Next time I'm going to have to set the bar a little bit higher. I guess we're going to have to be at 200. What if they never went for an official Nürburgring time? So, Joseph, they did. They were over at the Nürburgring twice. And it's odd that we still don't have a number. It really is. Unless they're waiting for some sort of grand reveal is the only thing I can think. But who knows? At this point, like I said, I thought we would have had this information weeks ago at this point. So, I don't know. Chris Fish says, YouTube is awesome. I've learned a lot in my Corvette news. Yeah, absolutely. I hope I've helped all of you guys in some way with the Corvette news because, honestly, you guys have helped me. I mean, every time I'm on this live video, I think we're all helping each other. I mean, I'm feeding off you, you guys are feeding off me, and it's a great Corvette time. I mean, that's why I wanted to call this Corvette Weekly, because it's just a bunch of Corvette guys hanging out and talking about Corvette stuff. I mean, honestly, if somebody walked in the door right now and sat here and listened to some of the stuff we're saying and they weren't Corvette people, they would just think we were all nuts. Mike Matarazzo says, did you hear about the ZL1 farewell 23 car that they will label a 24? I ask because a lot of your subs are talking about the ZL1. Yeah, so guys, this is kind of an interesting fact. Since Chevy is not necessarily discontinuing the Camaro, but they're stepping away from it for a minute, because they're doing that, they're actually making a farewell edition ZL1 that's going to be a 2023 car, but it's actually going to be labeled as a 2024. Pretty interesting stuff, guys. Mike Matarazzo over at Click Lewis Chevrolet in Palmyra is actually the one that told me about this. And if you guys are interested in getting a ZL1 or a ZL1 1LE, this might be one of your last opportunities to get it. Give Mike a call and see if he can get you on the list for it. Elijah says, was it under 7 minutes, but no exact time released yet? There's no confirmation that it was under 7 minutes either. I would have to assume that it was, but no confirmation. All right, guys, so number 5 super chat of the day. So it comes to us from our friend Chris Fish. He gave some money over to the channel, and of course, like I said, guys, that goes back into the channel. It's only going to help build this thing stronger and better than ever, and it's going to be, just going to help with content here. So I appreciate any of the super chats, guys. And for those of you out there who don't know what a super chat is, it is down at the bottom right of your chat window. You can actually donate money to the YouTube channel. I don't require it in any way, shape, or form, but I do appreciate it, and it will only help feed the channel's quality. So I do very much so appreciate any of you guys who have done so. LT4 Powered says it's a shame the Camaro was such a bust. Had a 2017 2SS and it was fantastic. I used to own a 2014 ZL1, and it was a really cool car. The 6th generation ZL1s are just absolutely fantastic. I don't know why they didn't sell that well. Especially when you look hard at the competition, I don't think any of the competition is anywhere near as nice or as well balanced. Doug Smiley says no time, but they did say it was faster than a $950,000 Porsche, and Harlan didn't like that comment. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's get into the ZR1 information. Now, you guys already know, I've talked about this a couple times on the Corvette Weekly, that the ZR1 stuff, to me, I don't think is actually coming. I don't think we're going to get a C8 Corvette ZR1, but some of this news that I'm about to show you hints at otherwise. So I'm just going to show you. So guys, Motor1.com shows that a Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 is coming with a twin-turbo V8 making 850 horsepower. It's a report. It will look meaner than other C8 Corvettes as well. So basically the ZR1, just like the C7 ZR1 and the C6, will have a slightly different design than the other Corvettes in that generation. So let's scroll down. Now, the part of this whole article that really gets me is that it does say in here at some point that there is a rock-solid source. That the report of these cars being a ZR1 is solid. Now, it says right here, the development of the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 is now underway, and the Muscle Cars and Trucks claims to have an insider info about the model that allegedly comes from quote-unquote bulletproof sources. Now, you guys already know, like I said, I'm not 100% sure we're going to get a ZR1 in the 8th generation Corvette, but I will tell you without a doubt, the information any of the information I've ever gotten about the C8 Corvette that came from the Muscle Cars and Trucks has always been 100% accurate. So the fact that this information is coming from them leads me to believe that I have to be wrong, because they have never been wrong. So something's got to give here. My only concerns is that these pictures are not new. This picture we're looking at right here that they're claiming is a ZR1, that's not a new picture. That was a spy shot taken whenever the Z06 first started testing. Now, if we scroll down even further, they're starting to show these pictures here, which you guys, we talked about these in a video before. These are early spy shots of the E-Ray testing. And of course, it's doing so under a Z06 body with those side exit rear exhaust pipes. So that's an E-Ray. So the fact that they're doing this and saying that these are ZR1 cars, I don't like that. Now, I don't know that they're not necessarily saying that, hey, here's the picture of the ZR1. It's just, it doesn't look good that they're talking about the ZR1 in a way that makes it sound like it does definitely exist, but then they're showing pictures of the Z06 and the E-Ray. So again, like I said in the beginning, guys, I'm going to leave this up to you as to whether or not you want to buy this, but Motor One says it's coming, and like I said, Muscle Cars and Trucks has never been wrong. Anytime I've ever pulled information from their website, it has always been 100% legit. So with that said, the C8 Corvette ZR1 could be coming, and it's going to be a twin-turbo V8, just like it was rumored in the very beginning. Now, the only difference here, guys, I've heard a lot of you guys out there talking about the ZR1 and that it was going to be the same engine out of the Z06, only with a twin-turbo. That's not accurate. The engine in the ZR1, if it comes, will be a dual overhead cam cross-plane crank, not a flat plane crank. So like your normal cross-plane engine, it's not going to be a flat plane, because those are inherently difficult to turbocharge. You add a lot more problems to the mix whenever you turbo a flat plane crank. So this one is not going to be a flat plane crank, but it is going to be a twin turbo. It's going to be a V8. It's probably still going to be around that same 5.5 liter V8. Yeah. Now, these, again, down here, are actually saying the exact opposite, which is, again, is really crazy to me, because there's almost no way that they would turbocharge a flat plane crank engine. But down below in this article, they're saying that it is, in fact, the same engine from the Z06, only with a twin turbo setup. So there's a lot here that kind of goes against what I want to believe, or what I even can believe. So I didn't even want to bring this up to you guys yet, because I don't really like talking about rumors unless there's some substantial evidence to them. The only substantial evidence I'm giving is the fact that it came from Muscle Cars and Trucks, and they are always right about their information. So unless this is the first time that they're wrong, we're getting a ZR1. So what do you guys think of that? If I had to guess, the ZR1 would probably be a 2026. Well, it could be a 25. I would want to say that they're going to put more than 1 year between the E-Ray and the ZR1, if I had to guess. So let's see what we got here, guys. We're going to end the track. Oh, wow. Look at the track. So the poll that I posted, guys, we got 100 votes. Are you going to track your C8 Corvette Z06? 46% say yes, and 54% say no. That's actually really good. I was expecting way more of you guys to say that you weren't going to track the car. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, guys, let's take a look at the comment section here. The ZR1 is the 850 horsepower edition, and yes, it could be flat plane. It absolutely could be, but I do not think that it's going to be. There's a lot of reasons why I think it won't be, and Shane and I, Shane over in the comment section here, we kind of, actually I don't remember if it was Shane now. There was two people reaching out to me about this information at the same time, and somebody was telling me one of the biggest reasons for the Z06 delay, one of the reasons we haven't heard any of the information about it, is because GM is trying to get as many engines built and on hand as possible before they start the production of the car. Now, that makes sense on one hand, but on the other it doesn't, because you can actually order the car with the Corvette Museum experience, where you go down and actually help them build the engine. If that's the case, it can't already be sitting there built. Now, there's also a lot of talk about the magnetic motor mounts for the Z06 and how those might be a problem for the noise, vibration, harshness. Now, that all increases if you throw a turbo on it. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a flat plane crank engine in the ZR1, if we even get a ZR1. Now, guys, Shane over in the comment section here, I asked him to be a part of this tonight, even though I'm sure he probably would have been anyway. He said that he was told a ZR1 will be available, and they hinted at new LT7 and LT8 engines and supercharging. So I have not heard of a supercharger on a C8 yet. It's always been twin turbo. But this is information straight from the National Corvette Museum, where they were talking about possibly supercharging some of the C8 Corvettes, some of the future models. All right, so what do we got here, guys? Ralph Cruz says, if the Z06 is taking so long to come and the E-Ray coming after that, when do you think the ZR1 will come out and how much? If the ZR1 is truly coming out and it's going to be a twin turbocharged V8 with 850 horsepower, I would imagine it will probably be a 2025 or a 2026, and it will probably start at 130 to 140,000 before options. Yeah, so Kyle says ZR1, no talk about this Zora. I honestly believe what we're talking about when people were referring to the ZR1 is the Zora. I don't think we're getting a ZR1. I think it's going to be called a Zora instead, because they've already changed the name of the Grand Sport to the E-Ray. I think they're trying to change it up a little bit for the 8th generation, and I think the ZR1 is going to be called the Zora. So all the information we're talking about with the ZR1 is very likely to be the Zora model. Unfortunately, that is just my opinion. That's not necessarily fact. There's nothing suggesting that yet. I just think that that's the way it's going to go. Okay, so Doug Smiley says that GM has pretty much confirmed that the Build Your Engine will not be available at launch. Now, that all of a sudden starts to make some of these other rumors that I'm hearing sound a little more possible, because if they are stockpiling engines, that building your own engine experience would not be available, because they'd have, you know, a warehouse full of engines that just get plopped into a car whenever it's ready. So that makes sense. Shane says, at the bash, one of the engineers mentioned an upcoming model and an LT7 and an LT8 engine. So guys, Shane over in the comment section, like I said, we feed information off each other, guys. Shane hit me up with this information, and I asked him to be a part of this live video tonight just so we could talk about some of the stuff that he heard and saw at the National Corvette Museum. Now, there was someone else who contacted me, and they were talking about the colors of the Corvette, the C8 Corvette, and some of the color options that were possibly going to be available in the future with future variant cars. And they did not, GM would not rule out that there is a purple and a green coming. Now, if you guys remember, I've been talking about purple and green on this car for probably a year and a half at this point. I really suspected that the Z06 was going to launch with a special green and a special purple color, just to give it that extra supercar feel. I mean, we already have a high revving, flat plane crank, 5.5 liter V8. Why not add the colors to just finish off the whole supercar feel? Now, apparently, that is something that is still in the works. So we could possibly get that in future variants of the C8 Corvette, whether it's the ZR1, the Zora, or even the second year Z06. We could be getting these cooler colors, and that's awesome. Anthony Jackson says the price of the ZR1 is going to be about 140 to 170. After some options, I agree. I think it's probably going to start around 130 to 140-ish. Tack Out Performance says, what does Zora... I'm not sure what that says. A cool lime green would be nice. Yeah, I've been speculating a lime green or a like a Verde Mantis style color for a while. Blue Vet says, I'm with you, Justin. Purple and green would be awesome. I totally agree. It would be really cool. Why add Lamborghini colors? I think the biggest reason is just to settle yourself into that supercar market. I mean, with the C8 Z06 being what it is already, it's basically a supercar. Why not give the options for the colors? Nathan Moore says, E-Ray going to have flat plane crank? No. So the E-Ray is going to be a hybrid setup. It's going to have an electric motor on the front wheels and the normal 6.2 liter engine out of the base C8 in the rear. Michael Matarazzo says, I'm driving a plum crazy purple man stick Challenger right now. Nice. It's for sale. So guys, if you're interested in a Challenger, it sounds like it might be a manual transmission, hit up Michael Matarazzo. He might be able to get you taken care of. Amber Lynn says she would take the lime green option over hypersonic gray. I would as well. I really like the idea of that green. Leonard says purple and a new blue will definitely complete the supercar feel. Totally agree. The 70th colors will only be 1 year, so likely 2 different colors for the 24. Yeah, that was my exact thought process, Doug, is it seems like Chevy is constantly recycling or cutting out and bringing in 2 new colors every year. So if they cut out the carbon flash and the pearl white from the 70th anniversary and bring in purple and green, I mean, it makes sense. Shane says, yes, it was me. Okay, I thought it was you. He said he spent about an hour chatting with the paint engineers, and during that time, Harlan Charles joined our conversation for about 20 minutes. So guys, Shane, again, down at the National Corvette Museum, was talking to some people and Harlan Charles himself, and they all but confirmed that we're going to get 2 new colors, and they kind of hinted at the fact that these colors were going to be purple and green, if I'm right. Is that correct, Shane? During my conversations, I was able to learn the new 70th Pearl white color is bespoke. Oh, wow. Okay, so guys, I don't... It seems like every day when I'm at the shop, the internet has some sort of issue, and I apologize. I will definitely have this fixed for the next Monday. The next Monday live session we have, this will be fixed. For now, guys, I think we're going to end this because a lot of people have dropped off this. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. If you could, please go ahead one last time, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. Check out the website here, though, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you think the ZR1 is coming or if it's not. I'm curious. You guys can hear me now, though, right? Okay. I'm not sure. Are you guys able to hear me? Let me know in the comment section here if you can hear me.